self-proclaimed, uncrowned tag team champions of New Japan Strong, the West Coast Wrecking Crew.
And Matt, you and I talked about it, our broadcast colleague Alex Kozlov and I talked about it. The Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships were tailor-made for the West Coast Wrecking Crew, a team who, like they said in their interview prior to this bout, were the backbone of the Strong pandemic tapings, when there was nothing but two cameramen, New Japan officials, and wrestlers wrestling in the ring. Now that we have ways to mitigate the pandemic, now that thankfully there's crowds, there's clapping, there's cheering, there's booing in the case of the West Coast Wrecking Crew, now they have their chance to shine when the lights are the brightest.
That's right, two guys who carried. Who carried the very tag team division on New Japan Strong on their backs. During the two guys who would often be in the main event scene of New Japan Strong during many of those days.
Absolutely.
Who feel a little bit slighted in some of the championship decisions here. They feel like as much as the Motor City Machine Guns have done in professional wrestling, and they've done a lot, they seem to have almost skipped to the head of the line when it comes to the Strong Openweight Championships.
You'd be hard-pressed, though, to find a team whose resume doesn't give you the carte blanche, the freedom to skip to the top of the line. They are the Impact World Tag Team Champions and the reigning and defending Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns.
They are resident champs. Shout out to the virtuoso who coined that term. I owe her royalty now. But these guys, for nearly 20 years, have been absolutely revolutionizing tag team wrestling. They deserve every piece of gold that ends up around their waist. There's no doubt about that. However, Nelson and Isaacs still take great exception.
Chris Sabin! Shelley and Sabin captured these championships from Aussie Open in a triple threat match back in New York City. We were there. Rumble on 44th Street. Available for free now on YouTube. If you haven't caught that great event, you can go back and watch it.
An absolute blast of a show, of an event, and I think this one could absolutely top it.
Certainly can. You see Nelson on the left, Isaacs on the right. There was a moment in the summer, Matt, that I go back to that I think really cemented the West Coast Wrecking Crew, where Isaacs went to Japan. He went on an extended tour with Filthy Tom Lawler. Jarrell Nelson held down the fort here in the U.S., and that was a moment to me where they could have gone one of two ways. Either they could have seen the grass was greener, or they could have come back stronger and more united than ever, and it was the latter, and now they're challenging for the Strong Openweight Tag Team titles.
Well, I think that opening moment there gave you the answer to that question.
Now, what is Nelson pointing to? That's not a state. When they do that to the hand, Matt, that's because the Motor City Machine Guns are from Michigan.
Yes, I'm very well aware. I know what Michigan looks like. I grew up in Illinois, Ian.
Well, Nelson doesn't.
Yeah, he's saying this is the fist that I'm going to knock your lights out with. That's what he's saying.
He should be a little clearer, in my opinion, as Nelson now sent to the outside. Oh, and that was loud and clear from Chris Sabin.
Intercepted by Sabin there.
Sabin up to the top. Big drop kick. Sends Royce Isaacs to the outside. Look at Alex Shelley. Poetry in motion, the way he moves. And it's Chris Sabin now. And sent down to the mat by Isaacs. And Nelson.
And the West Coast Wrecking Crew living up to their name right now.
And Isaacs just walking around ringside.
Wait. Let's get a look at that.
With Chris Sabin.
Look at this.
Excuse me?
He can take him on a stroll all the way to St. James Park if he wants to. Look at the strength of the West Coast Wrecking Crew.
Incredible. And Shelley sent down, and Isaac sending Sabre down. He made a full lap, Matt.
That is the power of Isaacs and Nelson.
Oh, this is where they lose me. Where they want this photo opportunity, where they want to pose. They got great.
Wait, what do you mean they want the photo op? No,
Well,
the fans want the photo opportunity. They're just kind enough to give it to them.
So I'll get you your Team Filthy track jacket next. And track
Excellent.
suit.
I would love all of these amazing teams and groups and factions merchandise. I would proudly represent incredible professional wrestlers. You should do the same.
Talking Shop Global, the place to buy those. As nice tag made here. As Royce Isaacs and Jarrell Nelson to the knee. And in a 20-plus year career, those knees start to wear down. And I'm sure West Coast Wrecking Crew notices that. Hooks the leg, one count there.
But as we like to point out often, whenever I see an Alex Shelley match, in the latter part of his career, he's obviously made a career as well outside of wrestling. As a physical therapist, he knows the human body incredibly well. He knows exactly how to take care of himself.
Cover here, one.
To win the gold.
Two.
But more importantly, he also knows how to break down his opponents even better than he ever has before.
And I think that knowledge has also helped him know his limits. It's helped the Motor City Machine Guns be an even more cohesive tag team because now he knows his exact breaking points and the breaking points of the human body even better.
Knowledge is power, and Alex Shelley is a prime example of that. But right now,
yeah,
he's a prime example of getting his butt whooped by the West Coast Wrecking Crew.
Nelson with a cover, two.
I'd also like to point out that look across the ring from the West Coast Wrecking Crew. No Chris Sabre to be seen at the moment.
No, he has
still down.
Been incapacitated. I mean, just the blood flowing to his head, the rush of it coming back, being driven down into that apron. Even if Shelley's able to break free here, there's no one in that red corner.
Yeah, you're hoping for that fresh tag team partner on the outside. Come in like a house of fire. It's not an option right now for Shelley. It's a 2-on-1 match.
Oh! And a shot across the jaw. It is Jarrell Nelson. Big drop kick. Big time agility for a man built that thick. Those shoulders, those traps.
Almost went for a cover there. A little curious why. I mean, obviously it looks like he wants to inflict some more punishment here. But wait.
Ooh! And Saban back up in the nick of time.
Chris Saban, we just talked about, was incapacitated, finds himself back to the apron, feeling a little spicy there.
Hand out reach, tag made to Isaacs. Shelley desperately needs to get to Saban. Isaacs, and that's why West Coast Wrecking Crew's record is what it is. But Shelley, flatliner into the blue corner.
And the way is now clear.
And Nelson caught.
Saban saw that one coming
through the legs, makes the tag.
Got it. In comes Chris Saban.
Close line sends Nelson down. Isaacs collapsed in the corner. Leapfrogging a beauty, and it's Nelson into Isaacs.
Chris Saban, who's a former world champion in his own right, let's not forget that, looking to clean house against the Wrecking Crew.
Ooh, it's good. Shelley up to the top now. And high cross body. Hooks the leg.
To retain.
Two. Just a 2 count there.
Nelson staying in this one.
One of the things Nelson's done so well is maintain the strength while increasing his endurance. But that great tag team combination for the Machine Guns, that'll wear you down quick.
Yeah, that's where the Machine Guns really thrive, when they can get those numerous tag team moves off one after the other, when they can pick up the pace. Wrecking Crew, they're going to want to slow this one back down if they can.
Ooh, forearms connect. God. Wow. And the speed and the impact of the Motor City Machine Guns is something you got to see live.
This is where they thrive, turning things up. And Alex Shelley might be looking to open the window here for Chris Saban. It's time to fly!
Takes out both of the West Coast Wrecking Crew.
And he's got a little geography for Jarrell Nelson there.
Right? He's fine. Maybe he'll get it next time. A little bit more explicit. And Shelley. And plants him down. Great combination there.
To retain the titles here.
2. And Nelson kicks out.
And what does it say that we are here in a match featuring the Motor City Machine Guns from Detroit, Michigan, and a team literally called the West Coast Wrecking Crew.
Right.
And we're on the West Coast, and they're cheering Motor City.
Wow.
What does that say about our competitors here tonight?
I think the likability of the West Coast Wrecking Crew.
Team Filthy making no friends here, but oh my God!
And neither are the Machine Guns. A rare miscommunication.
That does not happen between these two often at all.
And Isaacs, who's been the kryptonite to Saban in this match.
And now taking full advantage here.
Oh, they got Saban trapped. And Nelson,
Look at
meanwhile,
this!
big elbow, plants him down. Spicoli driver on the knees.
This could be it for the titles
New champions here. Oh, just a 2 count. I thought we had new champions for the 2nd bout in a row in San Jose, Matt.
So did Royce Isaacs. Losing his temper there a little bit, but they got to regain control, regain some composure to put this one away. They had the advantage. Time to keep it.
Wrecking Crew first back to their feet. Double German suplexes there. Plant the champions down.
That's a good start for Isaacs and Nelson to turning this thing around.
You see them stalking the champion Saban, trying to get a breather on the outside. Full Nelson. Whoa, into the German.
Just tossing him up into that German suplex. And then the counter from Nelson. This could be it.
Hooks the leg. 2, and Shelley just in the nick of time. That would have been it.
2.999 with a line over it.
Discus right catches Shelley under the jaw. Oh, we've seen this combination before.
Wait, no. They could be looking, I think they were looking to hit the Thunder Express. That's a Motor City Machine Guns move.
Inverted atomic drop. And shout out to the backseat boys. The dream sequence hits. And that is firmly out of the playbook of the Motor City Machine Guns.
That's right.
Nice series of standing switches.
Oh, there we go. There's the assist.
Oh, and there's revenge on the cutter there. What's good for the goose was good for the gander.
Well, after that miscue a few moments ago, things are back on the right page for the Guns.
Oh, we could be looking for the dirt bomb here.
Got it!
Plants him down.
To retain.
And take nothing of the effort from the West Coast Wrecking Crew. But oftentimes these matches come down to milliseconds to millimovements. And it was the Machine Guns who capitalized.
I was going to say, and if there's any team that is so good at taking advantage of those milliseconds, of are so quick, so agile, so intense that they can make all those milliseconds count, it is the Motor City Machine Guns.
Chris Saban, Alex Shelley, your 2nd New Japan Strong Open Weight Tag Team Champions, and they will leave the Valley with 2 championships in hand. Heck of an effort from the West Coast Wrecking Crew.
If you ask me, this is not the last we've seen of Nelson and Isaacs and challenging for championship gold here in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
And one thing I want to point out, they fought a pretty clean bout. And they have it in them to fight a pretty clean bout.
They have all the talent in the world, the power, the speed. But sometimes those veteran instincts of a team like the Motor City Machine Guns, who have left an indelible trace on the history of tag team wrestling in this company and many, many others, have proved why they are so damn good at what they do.
Hot damn, does it feel good to be double champs. You know, West Coast Wrecking Crew, you guys are amazing. One of the best tag teams we've ever been in the ring with, but you know what, tonight we were just a little bit better. Damn, it feels good to be double champs.
I don't know. I thought we were a lot bit better.
Yeah?
Yeah, to be honest with you, because we're made of legends. So you want to talk about taking Old Yeller out to pasture? Piss off. Okay? What does it say when Old Yeller just ate your lunch? One of the best tag teams of all time. Dual champions, Impact Pro Wrestling, New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions. And we're just going to acquire more gold. And eventually, we're going to make our way back to New Japan proper. Back to the cerulean mat in Tokyo. We're going to prove, once again, why we define a generation, why we're the greatest tag team of all time.
New Japan Pro Wrestling returns to Las Vegas, Nevada. Saturday, October 28th, it is Fighting Spirit Unleashed in Sam's Town Live. Witness Sanada, Tetsuya Naito, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Eddie Kingston, Julia, Shingo Takagi, Tama Tonga, and the stars of CMLL. Tickets are available right now at Ticketmaster.com.
The stage has been set, Matt. The ropes have been removed. There is no disqualification, and there is no place to run. As the storm brewing between this man, Homicide, and Filthy Tom Lawler, that eye of the storm has come to the Bay Area.
And if you thought this night, after everything we've seen, after what we just witnessed moments ago, it couldn't get more wild, it's about to. And I want to take a moment to kind of toot our horn here. New Japan's Battle in the Valley is now in the top 10 trends in the United States on Twitter. Thank you all so much around the world for tuning in. We haven't even hit the co-main events yet. This one is off the charts.
And we are going to see an unreal battle. We've seen the video package. Homicide has been chasing down Filthy Tom Lawler with forks, with weapons. Tom Lawler's called Homicide a backyard wrestler who does not know how to fight. He's got a gi on.
I mean, I think, admittedly, I think it's a little disingenuous to say anything about Homicide not knowing how to fight. He's literally fought his way through every bit of his life in the hardest parts of New York City. But does he know? Can he grapple? Can he scrap the way Tom Lawler has throughout his very illustrious career? That's the question.
He may not have to in this bout because there's ringside. Who knows if there's forks hidden somewhere? Homicide. Who knows what Homicide has in mind?
And that's what's very, very interesting. It was Tom Lawler who threw down this challenge. And I would have to imagine with the mindset of this being more akin to something like a mixed martial arts contest. There's no ropes, not Irish whips and high-speed maneuvers and things like that. It's going to be a lot of grappling. I have to imagine that's where the mind of Tom Lawler is. However, with that, there are also no disqualifications, which very much favors the style of Homicide.
Certainly does, and I think back to some of the, and of course I'll always bring up the history of Ring of Honor and the partnership of Ring of Honor and New Japan, now Impact New Japan, and maybe cross promotions with everyone. The fact is that Homicide can beat wrestlers. His biggest victory in maybe his career was defeating Bryan Danielson.
Oh, you almost missed it.
Goodness. Now he's not going denim on denim today.
It's a ceremony. You know what I mean? This is still a show. Still got to give the people what they want, and they want Tom Lawler to take his clothes off.
Now, which folks in the audience did they poll for that?
Come on, please.
I mean,
please.
If you're going to bring
You're
out
making
the
yourself look
information,
silly now.
I'm going to be the fact checker here. I am a little concerned though, because the denim, he normally wears denim pants under his tearaways.
That's black denim. I'm wearing black denim.
And then
It's classy.
Oh, you should be. I'm wearing a full suit.
Yeah, I'm trendy. I'm with the times. I don't dress like my dad's grandpa.
Well, I have Air Jordans on, Air Jordan 1s, for those keeping track at home. And going to the
Lawler putting
Whoa! And he's got fighting gloves on. 2. Wow.
And I do find it interesting that in this, again, no disqualifications. There's no rules in this one, no rope. Lawler putting on the gloves, the fight glove. I would think
2.
He'd go for a bare knuckle kind of situation, but he's trying to keep this traditional. I respect that.
Well, Homicide kept it traditionally, shot the half there to go for the pin.
And he did. And early on in this one,
it's got to be a weird adjustment for Homicide. It's like when you're left home alone and you're told, your parents tell you, hey, you can order a pizza, you can do this and that, and you're wondering if it's kind of real for the first couple of moments. And Tom Lawler's not. He's not wondering. Oh!
And you saw there earlier, you're right. It's an unfamiliar setting for a professional wrestler. Lawler, shoving Homicide up. Normally, you'd grab onto the ropes to rebound or to hold yourself up. It just wasn't there. Homicide had to kind of fall to the outside unexpectedly, almost. And now Lawler looking for more instruments of destruction here.
Please don't grab that giant hammer that I just saw. That would not be a pleasant end for anybody. As Lawler connects with the trash can.
He's pulling a little. For someone who called out all of Homicide's lack of, even I can say he's having some fun. He's playing Homicide's game.
Who literally said Homicide wrestles a garbage style. For him to say that and then bring out a literal garbage can. The irony is not lost on me, Matt.
I don't understand. Tom Lawler simply taking out the trash. In this case, the trash being Homicide.
Come on.
Obviously, it's a metaphor. I know it's a little slow to catch up there, Ian, but Lawler just doing the Lord's work out here.
So you're telling me that Homicide, who won the Ring of Honor World Championship by defeating Bryan Danielson, who's a former Impact X Division champion, doesn't know how to wrestle. This is not computing with me.
I never said he didn't know how to wrestle.
Well,
I'm just saying he's not in the same category as Tom Lawler, as that man right there.
Well, what?
No, he said, no, we absolutely will not. We're not going to forget whatever's about to happen here. Oh, God!
And that's what he gets for coming over and picking a fight with me.
Tom Lawler might be forgetting a few things after that, actually.
Why did he needs to leave us alone?
Well, what do you mean? Because let's not forget, you didn't even mention his match in the preview for this great event. Everybody, go home and Google Tom Lawler Homicide. And the first Google search is Tom Lawler going off on Ian Riccaboni for being a troglodyte and not mentioning this match in the great lineup of matches for Battle in the Valley.
The irony's not lost on me either that Tom Lawler forgot a match in his own promotion of the event. We see a nice T-bone there. That's the pot calling the kettle black. Another shoots the half again. 2.
More like calling it black denim. But Homicide, once again, finds himself in control of this very unique matchup. And let's not forget, the ropes are down, but the steel turnbuckles have been left up. That is very worrying. Oh, God!
Jesus!
Did you see the way the entire turnbuckle post just shifted?
I wish I didn't. And we got baking sheets.
And now,
and this is the recipe I do not want from Homicide. A little bit of a clap there.
Homicide almost like some of the Japanese talent with those open hand chops. You put using baking sheets upside the head of Tom Lawler.
Now taking a bite out of Lawler in the clutch. Lawler trying to fight out of it. Big elbow here. Interesting blend of styles from Homicide.
I mean, let's not forget, on his way to this matchup, Homicide does have a one-on-one victory over Filthy Tom Lawler as well as Danny Limelight of Team Filthy. So he's got some good momentum heading into this very unique matchup that's getting more unique by the second, Ian.
Sure is, and that's a ladder that we keep for the lighting rig so that we can guide it as it is lifted above the ring. That is why that ladder is underneath the ring.
We're done. Done are the time of us trying to justify all the crazy instruments under these pro wrestling rings.
And
I don't even know anymore.
Well, let's be real with the kendo stick. Both men had an opportunity to bring weapons
Of course,
ringside
they came
prior
prepped.
to the match. And that, I don't know if Lawler brought that. I don't know if Homicide brought that. The latter serves a functional purpose.
I was just about to say.
The forks do not.
There's one thing Homicide brings to every match. He usually has it tucked into his boot, but he's got a whole silverware drawer full here.
And saving one for later, I guess.
Saving more than one. And over the last several months, Homicide has tried to go for Lawler a few times with that fork.
Double leg.
Hasn't been successful, and now, finally, here's some grappling, ladies and gentlemen.
Clover leafs the legs, trapping in a grapevine position. The fork is dropped.
From the combat professional,
Oh,
Filthy
God.
Tom Lawler.
Oh, God.
Wait, no. No, are you freaking? Oh, God. He's stabbing at the foot. Oh, God.
Oh, God. And now at the bottom of the sole.
I mean, luckily those soles are pretty thick, but he was stabbing through to that top.
Oh, cutter.
And that opened up the door to the cutter.
Hooks the leg. 2. And just a 2 count there.
I mean, Homicide has been champion at the bit to use that fork. Finally had his opportunity, nearly took a toe off of Filthy Tom Lawler. And now, good God! Giving a little bit of payback there to Homicide, throwing him in to that post, completely unprotected.
And what's scary about those posts? Oh, God! Is oftentimes when you see a wrestler body slammed, they make their best effort to create surface area because that negates the impact. What's scary about those posts is there are very distinct points of impact that will hurt more because they are smaller, like those buckles you see there, those screws. Oh, jeez.
Lots of little pieces of steel.
Fasteners.
Just sticking out at every single angle, in addition to all these other instruments and weapons out here in this matchup.
And Lawler going behind the ear.
And now, yeah,
the gloves
are
off.
coming off now. Lawler sees what kind of fight this is going to be.
Those are brass knuckles.
Baby.
How did he get
Brass,
those on?
silver. No, that's extra for the occasion. Those aren't just brass. Those are silver knuckles.
Oh! How did he get those on the airplane?
Oh, man, maybe he's got a guy here in San Jose.
Oh, jeez.
Tom Lawler's crafty like that.
Right to the midsection. And Lawler taking advantage at every turn, quite literally, as they go post to post.
Now, oh, God. Oh, just putting Homicide.
Oh, God, and his head's against.
Yeah, oh, what the hell? What the hell?
Oh,
the
oh,
hook of that turnbuckle.
No.
Oh, just fish hooking, literally fish hooking Homicide.
And Homicide.
I'm gonna end him. You guys want to see a homicide?
And a chant usually reserved for my strange neighbor Eddie being called out here to both Homicide and Tom Lawler.
Superman misses! He may have broken his hand.
And not only punching that steel post, but the knuckles were on top of that as well. The hand of Tom Lawler might be shattered.
It's now bleeding. You see the blood emanating from the hand of Tom Lawler.
Well, those are the cable ropes for the ring that have been stored under there, but now...
Now, there is no reasonable explanation why a door is under the ring other than Homicide explicitly wanted to use it to hurt Tom Lawler. And you know what? After what Tom Lawler has said and done to Homicide, I don't blame him.
I mean, that's the point that this rivalry has gotten to. Homicide truly channeling the spirit of the man on his shirt there, Bruiser Brody, bringing the hurt to Tom Lawler.
Cover here. And just a 2 count there. Tom Lawler, who's gone the distance in many bouts as strong openweight champion. Oh! In New Japan, we have not seen him in an out-and-out brawl like this to date. So
No.
we don't quite know where his threshold is in terms of pain and endurance when it comes to these kind of bouts.
Hey, that's not exactly true. We've seen Tom Lawler. We know his career, his accolades. We know the work, the effort he's put in, the matches, the grueling matches he's been through. No one should question the toughness of Lawler.
2. And by no means was I questioning the toughness or fortitude. We just don't know where his breaking point is when weapons are involved, when foreign objects are involved, when the ring posts and cables are involved.
I mean, a lot of this is not the most familiar to a New Japan Pro Wrestling ring. These aren't often the types of matches we have here. But Homicide brings that extra little flair. And Lawler looks like he's looking for something specific.
Just pointing to the door. Oh, God. Oh, gee.
Looking for it himself, but Homicide turning things around.
And able to swing the hips through. Looking for another. Here's 2 vertical suplexes.
Couple of amigos here in San Jose, but not getting the triumphant.
Tom Lawler counters.
With a couple of slung together suplexes of his own.
German suplex plants Homicide. And blocks it with the leg. Standing switch.
And whoa, there it is.
Homicide getting one more. Trying to string a second together. No, out of it is Lawler, and both men get 3 of each.
Little out of sync, but a hat trick nonetheless for both Lawler and Homicide.
And this is really a test of mental fortitude as the crowd imploring both competitors to use the door. I think at this point, both men are just trying to survive.
As all the striking, the professional striking background of Lawler coming into play here.
And the door of Damocles may not come into play as Lawler looking to choke out Homicide here.
He wants to end this one right here, right now. Put this mess with Homicide finally behind him.
And Homicide trying to get some movement going that gets the adrenaline, the blood pumping.
Finding his way to his feet somehow, some way.
And he's got the arms separated a little bit, alleviating the pressure. And now on the shoulders of Homicide is Tom Lawler. Lawler's in trouble. Oh, God. Oh, God.
No freaking way!
On a night where the NBA Slam Dunk Contest was taking place, we take a look at a replay. The most hang time all night in the United States may have been Homicide driving Tom Lawler through the door with the Spicoli driver.
Absolutely devastating. Look at the rubble. And look, Homicide wants to use said rubble to continue the punishment.
Just 2 maniacs, Matt.
This is how heated this rivalry has gotten. Months in the making.
Shots to the midsection here. You see the back torn up of Tom Lawler, the small cuts, the blood starting to trickle out at his Homicide now. Oh, pile driver on the door.
Got a little bit of Homicide as well, but the brunt
2.
into Lawler, who's not giving in that easily. It's going to take more to put the leader of Team Filthy away.
And he's calling to end it right now. Calling out, looking. 187, looking for the cop killer here. Up and over.
Lawler slides through though.
Homicide with the counter on the charge from Lawler. Front face lock here, stopping Lawler in his tracks.
Looking for maybe another pile driver here.
Lawler dropping those knees and those hips.
He keeps trying to drive Homicide back, but whoa, oh God!
Right on the tailbone again.
just compacting the spine of Homicide on that solid metal ladder.
Oh, God! Barely able to get any protection there. And Lawler!
Huge penalty kick to Homicide. Look to put him away.
2, and just a 2 count there. Homicide with half of a door. With half of a door. Oh, God!
15
Now
minutes
Lawler
past, 15 minutes.
pointing down to the ladder that just moments ago he dropped Homicide on, and the chair.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
What does Lawler have in mind here?
He's going to try and crush his skull.
Lawler climbing.
And he's not stopping, Matt.
No.
He is not stopping.
That chair is still draped across the face of Homicide.
That is a painter's ladder. The balance required. Oh, to deliver! The flying headbutt onto the chair, giving up life and limb.
Oh, putting his own skull at risk there to crush Homicide. Is this it?
2!
What?
Where did he find the reserve to kick out of that?
I have no idea how. Lawler, though, furious, wants to put this one away.
Straight jacket, knee to the back. Into the choke.
Now locked in tight, center of this no-rope barbaric playground.
And
Whoa!
Homicide.
Defiant to the very end.
But that's it.
He's in, he's out.
He is passed out.
課題の試合16分22秒トム・ローラー選手の勝利です。
And in perhaps the most violent match we have ever seen, under the New Japan Strong banner, Filthy Tom Lawler
ローラー選手の勝利です。
emerges victorious, but at what cost, Matt?
It was Lawler who laid down the challenge. And a special extra set for the people of San Jose.
The black denim, which from here on out will be associated with Tom Lawler's most dangerous fights. Coming through in the clutch today, Filthy Tom Lawler avenges and vanquishes Homicide.
I mean, he told you this was going to be one to remember. That's right.
Did he accuse me of being on steroids?
No, that was your doctor earlier, apparently. Biggest didn't happen of the year, but either way, what did happen was Homicide and Lawler in an absolute brutal contest. Homicide gave everything he could.
And we speculated that Homicide would just have to be incapacitated to lose this bout.
I mean, but we saw in those closing moments, defiant to the very end, literally throwing the bird to the sky, not going to give Tom Lawler the benefit of a tap out, of a submission victory in this one. No, he was literally going to go down with the ship that was this matchup.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
NJPW Academy at the LA Dojo. Looking to start your journey or add to your existing knowledge? NJPW Academy is the place to be. There's only one place to get New Japan strong, and that's the NJPW Academy. Head to NJPW1972.com for more information.
I want you for NJPW Academy.
All right, keep up the hard work, guys. Hey, Royce, where's this one going?
Parts unknown.
Tocon Shop Global. We ship worldwide.
Why, buddy? You finished those Okada orders yet?
Yeah, with the new Team Filthy shirt, papi.
Genius. Eso, mi gente.
The stars of today and the legends of the past come together on your smartphone. NJPW Collection. Pick up cards from special draft events. Use your collected cards to form your own faction or exchange them for limited edition special cards. Check in live from venues or remotely from home to get special tickets and items. Add all of New Japan Pro Wrestling to your collection now. NJPW Collection.
Arguably the breakout star of the LA Dojo. One of the first to gain his stripes. The Wild Rhino, Clark Connors.
And Ian, this is a match I've been saying since it was announced. I think this could be a sleeper for a match of the night. The two competitors at the absolute top of their game, and this man in particular right here is ready to burst out on the scene, finally bring home his first championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
One of my favorite bouts last year on New Japan Strong was Clark Connors. Clark Connors avenging former tag team partner TJP. It was in Seattle, Washington. It catapulted Clark to a title shot against Filthy Tom Lawler for the Strong Openweight Championship. At that moment, I knew, and Clark Connors proved to me and many others that he was championship quality, championship caliber. Here tonight, he faces a man whose rules of the very title he holds benefits the style in which he wrestles. He's a man who is now the leader of TMDK. And a bit of a punk, if you ask me.
Good thing nobody's asking you, Ian. I certainly am not. Zack Sabre Jr. is an absolute master of his craft, and that is why he has become the first IWGP World Television Champion.
There's something undeniably cool about Zack Sabre Jr. He's the kind of guy that...
Is he cool or is he a punk?
A punk is cool. A punk is cool.
Oh,
when others were listening to Oasis, he's the kind of guy that was listening to Pulp, or he was listening...
Keep going on. Is that all you got?
No,
to Pulp reference?
No, to Ocean Color Scene. He's a guy... he was the guy that was just on a little bit on the underground. He was still spinning records by the Jam, by the beautiful South.
Well, to bring this back to things that might make sense to our pro wrestling audience here, he's also the guy that was twisting and busting off arms and limbs all throughout the world, from England to Japan and everywhere in between.
For those that were wondering, the momentary pause was due to me trying to dig at the Stone Roses. But no one was wondering. So tonight we're going to prepare for a wonderful television title bout, 15-minute time limit. And what's interesting about this, I think back to my childhood when I was listening to those bands, and I think about Steven Regal, who held the WCW television title, whose rules allowed him to keep it in defenses against Ricky Steamboat, against Ric Flair, against Arn Anderson, against Johnny B. Bad, against very capable wrestlers, where he would take them to the very same 15-minute time limit. And it wasn't that he could not defeat them. He knew that he could continue to get championship paydays and championship matches by retaining the belt in any way he could. So it would not surprise me if Zack Sabre tries to go the distance with Clark Connors. The rules favor the champion, as you stated, Matt.
That's right, and not only just trying to do it any way you can, but it's doing it in a way, controlling the pace, slowing it down, not taking big risks to try to get the big pinfall victory in a shorter time limit. No, work a slower, more deliberate pace, and if the time limit runs out, I get to keep my championship. And how interesting that there's that parallel there of another paragon of British wrestling, Steven Regal, and a current paragon of British wrestling in that catch style, Zack Sabre Jr.
And one of the things Zack Sabre has done recently, he's in phenomenal condition. He's added a little bit of muscle to his already tremendous frame. He has not had to sacrifice any of his technical ability.
Well, he's going to need that against explosiveness incarnate in the Wild Rhino, who's just a compact, muscle-bound egg of power and explosiveness. And he's going to have to bring that speed and that intensity to take down the technical wizard, the Gideon of grappling that is Zack Sabre Jr.
And a little teasing by Clark Connors. And you got to make the most of your seconds here. Literally every second counts. And Connors' explosiveness coming into play here. Zack Sabre maybe baiting him in here. It's tough to tell this early. Knife edge chop.
Well, we know Connors is a little sour, you know, as he mentioned in that video package we saw. He was a little upset that his name wasn't even mentioned when the tournament for this title was announced back in October. His name nowhere to be seen, despite all the things you mentioned that he's been up to over the last year or so. Clark Connors is ready to burst, ready to explode on this scene, and it feels like he hasn't gotten his comeuppance.
Off the ropes here, charging in those long legs of Zack Sabre. Nice shoulder to shoulder there. Misdirection, takes down Sabre, and that's the kind of strategy I think Clark needs to have. He needs to move and move fast. You have to take risks because you're against that 15-minute clock.
Well, Clark Connors also pointed out yesterday at the Battle in the Valley press conference, as part of the dojo training, part of that LA dojo, you spend much of your time being a ring attendant, right? Helping set up the ring, break it down, watching during shows like many of our talent do at our big shows like this. So he spent literally years of his early career watching wrestlers like Zack Sabre Jr. and some of the greats here in New Japan, learning their weaknesses, their strengths, and how to perhaps exploit it like that.
And I believe this is a mistake here because he was rocking and rolling. Time became on his side. He was hitting those explosive strikes, and he should continue, and there he goes. Clark Connors, you got to stay on him. This clock is not working with you. The clock always works against you. Oh, my God, what a trap into a Cobra twist here from Sabre Jr.
Oh, beautifully applied.
Hip tosses
by
out
Sabre.
of it. Oh, front face lock trap into a snap mare.
Oh,
twist the neck.
And held it on.
And what a neck vice here, using the ankles.
Which leaves his hands free to do whatever he wants.
Now, as noted often by Chris Charlton, our broadcast colleague over in Japan, he and Kevin Kelly often point out that Zack Sabre will move to a different submission hold after about 6 seconds, because you and I discussed it, Matt. After about 6 seconds, you know if something's going to work, you know if something's in the right position to really make someone submit.
Which is an interesting strategy. You know, in my training as a professional wrestler, like, there were some who did teach a similar strategy as you see the snap and twist from Sabre Jr. here. But some would say, no, continue, stick with your hold. If you're confident in it, continue to work it. But this strategy was often preached by those catch style, those grappling style wrestlers. If it's going to work, you'll know very, very quickly.
And the leg straight find here into the sideways surfboard.
But the positioning a little off there. Connor is able to get right to the ropes. Sabre, though, doesn't seem too shook by it.
Damage may be done to the knee, and that's going to eliminate a lot of things out of Clark Connors' repertoire, including the trophy kill, the Jeep turn, whatever you may call it, that pounce that has been so effective. He needs that spring. He needs that big first step to burst him through.
You cut the trunk of it. Oh, look at just these nasty kicks to the bridge of the nose there.
Oh!
And again, we're just trying to see how much of this is merely, I don't want to call it a stall game, but again, a pace game for Sabre. And where are those moments that Connors is going to strive to pick it up?
5 minutes.
And we just heard announced in the arena 5 minutes. 1/3 of this contest has gone by. 10 minutes left to get this done for Connors.
Wow.
Oh, God.
And something that I noticed, Connors, despite the shots to the chest and the mangling of the wrist, he was still favoring that knee in all of it. Wrist lock there.
Junior here, of course, beat Ren Narita in the finals of the tournament for the TV title. Called him Shibata's golden boy. from the dojo, and said he's happy to work his way through all the LA dojo boys.
And pounce!
Oh, there it is! You talked about finding that moment if he was going to be able to stand on the leg, and he does, but can he capitalize is now the question.
And even though he has perfected that pounce, he didn't get all of it. You saw the hesitation on the spring, and you see he's not able to get back over to Sabre and really make the most of it.
Even to attempt to cover, to try to get something out of it. But maybe, just maybe, it's the opening of the window for Connors.
Oh, front face lock.
Looks like Connors went for that Northern Lights suplex.
Into the corner. Charging out. Flying front face lock. But Connors so strong. We'll see. Is a real test to the knee here. If he can keep him in position. If he goes down, he's in big trouble.
How much work was truly done to the knee of Connors. Look at, he's fighting out here.
Oh! Northern Lights plants Sabre.
It wasn't just any Northern Lights. He was literally from a dead stop. The entire weight of Zack Sabre Jr. heaved. And now diving into the cover. New champion.
Just a 2 count there.
And time continuing to whittle away here in San Jose.
In my head, I just hear tick, 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 tick.
And I'm sure Clark Connors, the Wild Rhino, is hearing that, is feeling that, is sensing that himself, as well as the champion.
Dropping down to one knee, lowering the center of gravity, blocks the suplex, catches the leg there, blocks it again. This time Clark. Oh! Driven down with the wrist lock.
Earlier it was the knee, now the arm and the shoulder.
Those weren't Stone Roses or Pulp lyrics he was communicating with the crowd.
No, but I'm sure it was widely clever, like all my good British friends are.
He may have been speaking to the common people there as Clark Connors forearm connects.
Sabre now
delivers.
Challenging Connors to hit him again, hit him harder, testing him.
Wow, and that uppercut, that European uppercut had just a little bit more juice than what Connors was distributing, man.
Well, it's from a real European, obviously.
Forearm
it's
connects.
In his blood. Look at that snap. And again, is this challenge or whatever to Connors, is this more of a ploy by Sabre Jr. to slow this down? Hey, let's take a minute. Let's test each other's, mettle here. But again, it just keeps the pace in Sabre Jr.'s corner.
Boom! He broke the full Nelson. Sabre right to the German, though.
He's thinking on his feet. Adaptable is the television champion, but Connors.
The big clothesline there. Connors now.
He's scrappy himself.
Front face lock. Plants a brain buster. Snap brain buster. Connors with the cover. 1, 2. 2 count there from referee Rick Knox.
TV title, Zack Sabre Jr.'s first singles championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Took him many a year to get to that point. Connors has gone on record as saying, I will get my first championship a lot quicker than you did.
Charging in and blocked. He blocked it.
Oh, and there's
Fujiwara, but double arm trapped.
Is he going to be able to snap both of them in? He does.
Oh, God. Into a ring-style maneuver. Rings of Sabre, perhaps. And look at the tendons and the muscles almost torn off the shoulder of Connors.
And again, immediately switching when he can get something else.
And those fingers are locked. Those fingers are locked. There's nowhere for Connors to go.
And now he's got a leg too. Connors has literally one leg, and what a float over into the crab as well.
10 minutes.
And Connors looking for the ropes. He gets there.
He gets to the ropes, but only 5 minutes to spare now, Ian. 2/3 of this matchup gone.
And Sabre has done a phenomenal job of not only wearing down the clock, but maintaining the advantage throughout. He has not let Connors turn up the pace to a point where we think Connors needs to be.
Not for more than a few moments. But Connors here, weathering the storm.
catches the PK.
Connors welcoming the challenge, firing up.
Gives up his head. Maybe the only weak point in Zack Sabre Jr.
Rhino hitting hard,
God,
but
look at the bridge. 2.
Full Nelson suplex only gets 2. And maybe the slightest bit of frustration now on the face of Zack Sabre Jr. But again, look, not quick to try to jump into something else. We are mere, God, it's got to be less than 4 minutes away from the conclusion of this matchup. Win, lose, or draw.
And Sabre does not have to win to retain the title, and that's the important part. He can fight the clock. He just has to stay in for 15 minutes, and we know his record in matches of 15 minutes is sensational. Oh, got him! Got him! Off the ropes!
And there's the power slam!
Hooks the leg!
New champ!
2! New champion! Just no, a 2 count.
But this is it. This is the opening. This is where Clark Connors has to keep his foot on the gas pedal.
This is the pace where he needs to be. He needs to continue this pace to push him through the finish line.
Look at Sabre, he's trying to drop his weight. Trying to not even let Connors pick him up here. And oh, God!
Oh,
that's a good way to do it.
And we are 3 minutes away from the 15-minute time limit. Open hand.
Less than 180 seconds remain for Connors to get the job done, and this is what Sabre can do. Bait out a strike from Connors and use it to do more of that joint manipulation.
Connors has got to make a move now if he wants to try and win this championship. He's got to take a risk. Charging in. Oh, European uppercut staggers the Wild Rhino.
Didn't pay off there, but whoa.
Caught! Backslide! Backslide! Arms are trapped! Just a 2 count there. It's Connors here. Connors, power bomb, stacks him up. 2 and ooh.
He's getting closer though, as the seconds whittle away. He is getting closer and closer.
2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
We're 120 seconds away from the time limit here. Standing switch, drop down. Double leg from the back.
Whoa.
Trap pin into the bridge.
Over. No! The choke! The rear naked choke from Clark Connors. What a counter!
And look at the life fading, the breath fading out of Zack Sabre.
I mean, if he taps out or if he passes out, that would be a win for Clark Connors. But can he withstand it for just under 2 minutes now?
And if you're Sabre, those long legs are a disadvantage here. It takes more energy to move them and to get back to your feet here. Oh, he is certainly fading right now.
Starting to fade. Center of the ring. Connors giving it up to try to put him away. Oh no!
Oh wow, triangle. He countered the powerbomb to a triangle choke, and now rolling through.
Whoa!
The ankle lock!
The ankle lock!
Taught to him by Ken Shamrock!
That's right, we saw Ken Shamrock with Connors in New York.
1 minute left.
He's been doing some training.
And back into the crowd.
Oh, good God, that's it.
アベノルシ14分6秒ザック・セイバージュニア選手の勝利です。
What a bout. Clark Connors gave it everything he could. But Matt, to me, it was the veteran presence of Zack Sabre to make the world around him slow down and make a man get desperate to cash in on that desperation.
I mean, Connors, to his credit, withstood every hold, every twist and turn of the joint of his wrist, of his shoulder, of his ankle for 15 good minutes. But at the right time, the right moment, the veteran Sabre saw it and just wrenched back on that arm, and that was all that it took.
Great bout, a great defense for Zack Sabre Jr. I have a feeling this will not be Clark Connors' last shot at gold here in New Japan.
Now the Wild Rhino has many green pastures ahead of him, but tonight, your first ever New Japan IWGP TV champion retains.
Fans 3 championship bouts down, and all that is left
Oh, wait, hold up. Yeah, hold up here.
It's a double. No.
Kevin Knight, another alum of the LA Dojo out here.
What do you morons think?
Morons.
Call it like he sees it.
No, excuse me.
I'll think about it, mate. I'll think about it.
Patronizing Kevin Knight, who's been absolutely phenomenal in Impact on New Japan Strong.
There's absolutely no doubt in that, but he said he'd think about this. This is not Kevin Knight's moment, though. This was Zack Sabre Jr.'s moment. He just came out of a victory. This was his time to shine.